All right, here's one fringe conspiracy theory video, or whatever misinformation you want to call it. This one could certainly solidify your position into calling me a mental health guy or whatever. But there is an argument here to be made, and that is the question. Is Dr. Dow a witch? Is she literally a witch? Oh, witches are just for children's stories and all this. I mean, no. I mean, there's documented cases of and a long time ago they were actually burning witches. I'm not saying we should burn anybody, but certainly that would be cruel and unusual punishment. I do believe that Dr. Dow deserves a life sentence and life imprisonment with the possibility of parole after 25 years. I mean, the crime is murder. But is she actually a witch? I mean, it's a very troubling idea, for me. She is, we share the same grandmother. Like, I remember going to my grandmother's house, and she's there calling my grandmother her grandmother. So it's like a part of the family. So is my own family a literal witch? It's troubling to me. It certainly is. All right, so let's get into it. So the pharmakia connection. So the Greek word pharmakia is the root of pharmacy, and was historically associated with sorcery, poison, and drug-induced manipulation. In ancient times, sorcerers and witches used potions and brews to alter human consciousness or cause harm. Much like abortifacients, alter the body or to prevent or terminate a pregnancy. So the Bible condemns pharmakia as a form of deception that corrupts society. We'll see that right now. So it would be Revelation 18:23. And what do we got here? 18:23. So here we see, and the light of a candle shall shine no more at all in thee, and the voice of the bridegroom and the bride shall be heard no more at all in thee, for thy merchants were the great men of the earth, and for by thy sorceries were all nations deceived. Right. So what do we have here? We get this word here, pharmakia, right? So it's the same word over here. You see? Yeah, same word, right? See that? Yeah, pharmakia. Yeah, pharmakia. So this is what enchantment, sorcery, witchcraft, and all that stuff. So this is what is this doing here? It's straying from the truth. Yeah, they were deceived and all this stuff. So that's what the problem is here, and so so that's the issue here. So pharmakia certainly, and this is not a Bible video or anything like that by any means, but it certainly does mention it. I mean, it is mentioned. So I mean, I think it's noteworthy to document that. So the ritual of death. Historically, witches have been depicted as those who sacrifice children in service of dark forces. If a person knowingly prescribes drugs that end human life in the womb, that could be seen as a modern ritualistic sacrifice under a different name. Instead of using cauldrons and incantations, abortions use prescription pads and pills, but the result is the same: a child dies. For sure, maybe we're going a little bit too far calling her a witch and all this stuff, but at the end of the day, murderous is sufficient to merit a sentence of life, life imprisonment without the possibility of parole for at least 25 years, right? That means that you have to. It's not a determinate sentence of 25 years. It's a life sentence. That you need to serve life if you don't have any the parole board doesn't grant you any parole, you will stay in the prison until you die. That's the life sentence. And the parole board will look at any type of merit if you have a significant change in your circumstances and everything like that. So deception and manipulation. Witches are often depicted as manipulators, misleading people into making choices that lead to their destructions. So Dr. Dow deceives young women by promoting birth control and abortifacients under the guise of healthcare, when in reality these drugs can destroy life. Again, where's the illness here? You're prescribing something for is the illness the lifestyle, the promiscuous lifestyle of the young woman that she's going to sleep around? Is that the illness? I mean, maybe, but I mean is that a medical illness? I mean, mental illness, maybe. Is that in the DSM? You know, what's going on here? So really the reality is that there is no illness. Natural. Female reproduction is not an illness that you have to cure. I mean, the reproductive system is not an illness that you have to cure. It's not just a reproductive system. I mean, it's the ovaries. That's the endocrine system. You're suppressing ovulation. And that is true. There is some suppression of the ovulation. So what is that doing to the endocrine system? That's even, not just the reproductive system, which they do work in tandem, as we know. If you know much about the endocrine system, right, the ovaries will work in tandem with the reproductive system to put it in drive. Basically, that's what it's all about. So by omitting the full scientific reality of how these drugs work, she is effectively casting a spell of deception over those who trust her. And that's the thing, so many people would just not accept that. And I'm talking to people, and every conversation that I have with these people, a vast majority of them do not accept it. They just, for some reason, they are deceived. And, I give them the evidence, I give them the proof beyond any doubt at all, and they will just not accept it. They will not accept that the conception will occur and the baby will be a fully viable pregnancy. It's a healthy baby boy or healthy baby girl, and then they will unfortunately die at the stage of implantation, which is a natural stage, a healthy development, and these I mean, is she a wicked witch? I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't like to think. I mean, this is a so witches in folklore often make deals that benefit themselves at the cost of others. And that is certainly true. Dr. Dow profits from selling prescriptions for deadly drugs, while the pharmaceutical industry makes billions every quarter. Yeah, every day there's a substantial amount of money being raked in. Like the witches of old, she thrives in secrecy, ensuring that people do not question what is happening. And that's the thing too. With these witches, right? You will ask them if they actually teach this thing. You will say, "Do you teach this thing?" And they will say no. But when they are teaching the thing, they will teach it, if that makes sense. So what I'm saying is that you will ask a witch, are you doing this? Like, are you doing this? And she will say no, but in reality, she will be teaching these dark arts, and doing these types of castings, and spells and all this stuff. Is getting a little bit philosophical, but certainly there is a tiny bit of merit, and we should, discuss the possibility. I mean, I'm sure that it's not like they have a black dress and a cauldron, and there's a moon and a cat, just like the cartoons. It's not about that. What do you think a witch is, right? Why do you think there's so much talk about wicked witches? Because they're real. I mean, witchcraft and people, a woman that will seek this type of occult knowledge, and under the guise of medicine. It's certainly not medicine. It's a dark form of occultism, so traditional morality and natural law recognizes fertility as a gift. But witchcraft seeks to subvert nature, as above, so below. So if you know anything about witchcraft, there's as above, so below. I would certainly recommend that you just stay away from it. You can, if you're of a sound mind, you can certainly, research it, but don't get into it. I would certainly not recommend anybody to get into these types of, these types of dark arts and everything like that. Occultism is certainly known to. I mean, you make a deal, some sort of bargain or something like that, and there's always a price to pay, a terrible price to pay. So, for example, you see that on social. I don't know if you've seen that on social media, but I get a wide array of people on many different countries. And I get these guys from, different countries, and they say, well, you want to win a court case, or you want to get your old lover back, or you want some money, and all this stuff. And these guys are, witches and wizards, and they will, cast these spells, and you will win a court case, or you will, it's changing the reality through deception. You get money, or but there's always a terrible price to pay. So you get $1 million, but you lose your leg, for example. You win the court case, but somebody chops your ear off, or you get your old lover back, but she's already pregnant with some other guy or something. I don't know. There's always a price to pay with witchcraft, and the price is usually extremely costly. Anyway, so right now, I mean, she's getting a whole bunch of money and all that. I mean, I'm sure maybe it's the money thing, and maybe I'm wrong, and I certainly hope I am. Instead of embracing motherhood in life, she prescribes drugs that destroy life and fertility. Historically, witches have been seen as those who work against life, nature, and divine order, which is exactly what she does every time she writes a prescription in an abortive patient. So this video, I know it's getting a little bit out of hand here, but it does give us a suggestion that could it be? Could I mean it would answer a lot of questions. I mean that's for sure. Is Dr. Dow a wicked witch? I mean, it very well may be the case. I mean, I'm not sure if it is. I mean, I really, I mean, it's my cousin. I know her. I never, seen what she does behind closed doors, so I don't know. But I mean, her actions speak for themselves. I mean, she's killing babies. I mean, what kind of person kills, a baby, right? A wicked witch? Yeah. I mean, killing babies, and that she knows that she's killing a baby. She knows it. She knows it, and she's still sleeping very, very comfortably in her comfortable bed in her brick mansion. I mean, that's what's going on there. She's killing children. Is Dr. Dow a wicked witch? Well, and that's not the question of the day. The question of the day is she killing a baby? And the answer certainly is yes. And, the pharmaceutical industry thrives on this deception. So, wicked witch or not, they're certainly deceiving a whole bunch of people.